last year there were 3 quarterbacks who faced rebounds on what seemed like a downfall or a setback to their careers. There probably were more, but there were 3. Oh, I mean, there's also Geno Smith. But anyway, I mean, these 3 got my attention because they all came from Carolina over the past few years. And I want to talk about that. So, it's Baker Mayfield, Sam Darnold, and Bryce Young. And save for Bryce Young and now Dave Canales, they suffered setbacks because they were early in their career. They're in a growing process. Their coaches were in a growing process and learning process where they needed a learning curve. And they also need a patience curve because life happens. Carolina did not see or did not notice Darnold's improvement enough to keep him on the team and witness the amazing season he had last year. They had a similar issue with Baker Mayfield, where they did not recognize what he was going to be able to do for them and lost their patience with him, didn't count on his growth, and they said goodbye to him in the middle of the season. Last year, they changed their tune, and they decided to be patient with Bryce Young. Now, the thing is that Carolina was built for long-term success, but they didn't have the patience for a slow oven to cook in terms of developing talent. It does take a long time for people to improve. And a lot of times we get impatient when we see setbacks or we see things not growing or moving as quickly as we would like them to go. And we would like to say, hey, I need to see a continuous and constant improvement. Well, improvement is messy. It's not constant. So, why would I be able to show you a continuous, constant improvement if you're not going to give me patience for setbacks, unexpected occurrences? So, now Carolina's being more patient, but that's been a very common factor in not only the Carolina Panthers, but in the NFL as a whole, and really in professional business, is that we expect, unrealistically, a constant sustainability of success. We expect a constant state of improvement. That's not realistic. And it's not opportunistic. You're missing abilities for people to adapt, to learn from the past, to recognize lessons that they can get along the way. And it's why we missed a phenomenal Tim Tebow career in the NFL, because they wanted instant gratification. And so the Broncos got it. They went to 2 Super Bowls right after Tim Tebow. And then after that, they just now got back to the playoffs last year where they lost in round 1. That is the world you're living in. That instant gratification it's hindered a lot of careers, and it's something that we got to kind of measure. I mean, yes, there are people who take too long, or they're not qualified, they can't do the job, they won't do the job, whatever. And we got to measure that. But we also got to be willing to measure the miracle and see, hey, this is an opportunity to take people by surprise, because they're expecting last year to be the same. And I'm expecting things to change because I learned some things along the way. And if you want people to believe in you, it starts by believing in others. It starts by being unexpected. So don't go measuring with the status quo and expecting to go with what works. That was the problem with Frank Reich's tenure in Carolina. The guy, nice guy, but he was working way too hard on a predictable, traditional outcome of, well, this is how it's always worked, or this is what usually works, and going with that kind of analysis. And in a competitive environment, predictability is your enemy.